Hey, it's Joe Crump. How to automate your real estate investing business. The first thing you need to do when you're setting out to build your business system is to find out what you can automate, what you can outsource, and what you have to do yourself. So we're going to look at what are the best things that you can do to automate right now. What are the parts of your system that you can automate? And that would include things like your marketing. Your marketing is the most important driver of your business. If you're not doing marketing, you don't have a business. Your only source of income is your marketing. So make sure that your marketing is done properly. Everything else that you do in your business is simply the thing that you're fulfilling for your marketing, but you're not even going to get that business unless you're doing the marketing. So make sure you do marketing, and make sure you automate that marketing, because that can all be done very easily for you. I have a system called pushbuttonautomarketer.com, and it will allow you to go into Craigslist or Zillow and scrape all the for sale by owners in any area that you want, and then send out text messages to those people. And we've already gotten templates set up for messages that go out over a 3-month period to each lead that gets scraped and brought into the system. And it drips on those people. So day 1, it gets one message. On day 4, it gets another message. On day 7, it gets another message, and on through that 3-month period. So the idea is to drip on a lead and hit them at the time when they're most motivated and most ready to work with you. And with for sale by owners, a lot of times they'll go on the market, be all gung-ho, thinking that they're going to get the property sold, but we know that 85 to 95% of them don't succeed. They either take their properties off the market or typically would list it with a real estate agent. So what we're going to try to do is hit them with the right message at the time that they're the most interested in getting some help. Because they're figuring out that they can't do it themselves. So having a drip system like this will help you do that. It'll hit them from the very beginning when they get started, and then it'll continue to drip on them over and over and over again. So you'll build some credibility with them. You'll send them links to your websites, because the AutoMarketer also has what I call the clone sites, and they've got multiple sites. There's 3 different sites for sellers. One of them talks about the for rent method, which is assignable lease options. Another one talks about selling the property subject to, and how they can do that and how we can purchase that property from them. Another one talks about, it's just a standard, we will buy your house, any condition, any price, whatever your situation is, not any price, and whatever your situation is, we will buy your property. And that's the standard we will buy site. And the drip system will drip on them over that period of time, sending them to these different sites, giving them different options on how they might work with us, and giving them different ideas about how they might work with us. So it'll build our credibility with them as they see that we have different ways that we can solve their problem. So being able to have a marketing system like that can do so much of this work for you. It can also send out postcards to them, and it can drip on them, whether it's one person or whether it's thousands. You can drip on multiple people and go through that process. So if you have a list of, let's say, absentee owners or expired listings, and you want to import it into the system, all you have to do is get it into CSV format, and it'll import it into the system. And one of the things it'll do with postcards that's really nice is it will identify the duplicates, not just, because sometimes you'll have duplicates where, for me, for example, I've got multiple LLCs that own different properties, but the address of the owner is the same on the tax records. So if you have absentee owner lists and you've got multiple names on there, our system will look at the address, and it won't send out more than one postcard to that address. Because what will happen for me is I'll get 5 or 10 different postcards from the same guy on the same day, because he's sending them out to different companies. Even though all those companies are going to the same address, they're all coming to me. So I'll have 10 of his postcards there that cost him $10 to send out, and I'm going to throw them all away. Whereas if he had just sent me one, I'd just throw one away. But the postcard response rates are going to be much lower, and leads are going to be much more expensive than if you do the text message system as well. So this can all be automated for you. You don't have to send out those postcards. You don't have to send out those texts. You don't have to send out those voice blasts, because you can also do it with voice blasts. You don't have to send out those emails, because you can also do it with emails. The system can do all that work for you. And you won't have to think about it at all. When the lead comes in and they call in, then you're going to have somebody call them back. It's either going to have to be you, which is what I would suggest when you're just getting started, or you're going to outsource that to somebody else, your seller finder. And then the same thing with working with buyers. You're going to be able to bring in buyers using automation, and you're going to be able to monetize those buyers once they get into your list by dripping on them with emails that educate them and build trust with them and help them understand what you have to sell over time. And then you can also send your properties out to them as you get them. I find that once you build a buyer's list of 500 to 1,000 people in a particular area, the likelihood is that about 10 to 20% of your sales will go directly to that list of buyers. So it's a pretty large percentage going to that particular lead source. Typically in the past, before I had my list, 20% of my sales would come from the yard sign. That's probably the most powerful marketing tool that you've got when you're selling a property for real estate agents or for real estate investors. But since I built this list, I found that it's as effective as the sign in the yard, and more effective than the other sources that we use, which are also effective, but not as effective. Craigslist, Zillow, Facebook are all good sources of buyers as well. So all those things can be automated so that you don't have to do that work. Now, once you've automated that stuff, then you can outsource the other work, the legwork, the administrative work. We get buyer finders, we get seller finders. We need boots on the ground to put a sign in the yard for us. We can have somebody do all that work for us for a fraction of the cost that it would take you to do it personally, because your time is so much more valuable than theirs if you can use that time to continue to put more deals together. And if you have a constant stream of leads coming in through your automated marketing, then you'll be able to spend your time closing those deals or training somebody like a seller finder to do that work for you. So automating your business is absolutely vital. And automation is a part of your system. Your system consists of automation, outsourcing, and then the work that you have to do. And the ratio should be 90% automated, 9% outsourced, 1% you. All right. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Which side is it on? Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, and it'll notify you every time I send out a new video. Also go to zerodowninvesting.com and find out about my 6-month mentor program. Go to pushbuttonautomarketer.com and find out about the automation and the tools that I'm talking about in this video. And go to joecrumpblog.com if you want a lot of free information. There's over 700 training videos on that are free. You can also sign up for my free e-zine, my newsletter, and get details that I don't put in these videos. All right, I hope that helps. Good luck to you.